when you joined the company?
So I was like, oh, I forgot that I'm in US. I'm not.
You're cold calling customers in the hotel room, figuring out your way. So supposed to go to the sales end or the operation end. So you got to see from their lens as well.
You got to determine. Then you have to think like your customer.
Welcome to Inside Kay Emms Global, a podcast series where we connect with the people shaping the future of textiles, leadership, and inspiring the younger generations. I'm Wajeeh Tariq, and I'm hosting today's session with someone who requires no introduction within our company, Mr. Wajeeh Tariq, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing at Kay Emms Global and the President of our US division, Inno. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Wajeeh.
Thank you for having me, Wajeeh. It's a great initiative. I congratulate Kay Emms Global Marketing team to start this initiative to connect with our inner members as well as outside world.
Thank you, Mr. Wajeeh. Let's start with your journey. Can you walk us through the path that you walked and where your journey started from? How long when you joined the company, and the whole journey?
Yep. So Wajeeh, since this company started in 1990, and I was 9 years old when the company started, so kind of grew into the company. I remember the days when K&M started from a very small, humble beginning, and I used to spend my summers on production floors, being in high school, being in college. I used to do a lot of, this used to be my playground.
Nice.
So I have a lot of memories around the old manufacturing, the new manufacturing, and that's how I kind of grew into this field. And then I decided to pursue a degree in textiles because this is where my heart and soul was always there. I coming from a textile engineering background. I joined company as an MTO, then worked in sort of different sections, different departments. Spent a lot of time in fabric and product development, coming from the textile background. So that was kind of something where I connected the most. Revamped company's fabric facility back in 2004. In 2007, we came up with a new fabric facility. Did that. Then I was involved in different roles, spent some time in government manufacturing. Then I was transferred to the sales and marketing side of the business. 2008, we started the US division, where my job role was to superhead that and cultivate the US market, which was not present for us at that time. So then going through different roles, sourcing of the product development, marketing, setting up offices in Spain, setting up offices in the US were things which I went through. So I've kind of tasted everything from manufacturing, from fabric, into sales and marketing. So I feel very good that I'm able to touch and feel every aspect of the company. And I'm here today talking to the next generation.
Thank you, Mr. Wajeeh. That was a lovely introduction. So how did you manage to find out that you were supposed to go to the sales end or the operation end? So when was the turning point that made you realize that sales is your strong point?
So our founding CEO, Wajeeh Tariq, he was the one. He said that because I had my background in US, so he said, okay, let's start in the US market. You have a better mindset with how things work in US, and you have a product knowledge. Why don't you go in and give it a shot? And at that time, our sales efforts had started in US, and I had never done sales and marketing. I was kind of thrown into a new field along with his guidance that, okay, this is how you talk to customers, this is what the things are important, this is how you cost the product. So all soups and nuts, right? So it was a challenge for me to start that, and I started working, calling customers, cold calling customers, soliciting customers, sitting in a hotel room initially. Then we formed the company there. Then we took an office. When we hired the first person, then we hired the second person. Then the journey started.
It kept on happening.
Yep.
Nice. So there's always a first time when you begin your journey. As you said, you're cold calling customers in the hotel room, figuring out your way. So how was the first experience when you jumped in your first sales meeting? Do you still remember where you were and the whole scenario that happened?
Yeah. So interesting question. When I got my first appointment, I was very excited. And I was got all ready. I was wearing a suit, going
Nice.
into a meeting like I'm going to a professional bank meeting. But when I walk into the customer is sitting in
Casual.
t-shirts and
Yeah.
shorts. He said, "I never got the memo that we were supposed to wear suits for the dairy." And I was like, "Oh, I forgot that I'm in US. I'm not dealing with a European customer. I'm not dealing with the institutional banking customers, right?" So that was the first thing which I realized my mistake, walking in a meeting wearing a suit.
Wow.
So, anyways, coming back, so it was exciting when I got the first order from that customer. I delivered that order. I was like, I gotta make sure everything is fine. So I when order was delivered, I was there. I was looking how things are being offloaded. I was looking at how things are being QC'd. So I went through every process for the customer. So because the whole idea was that how can I create customer intimacy?
Nice.
So till today, we have that customer. We work
Nice.
with that customer, and the relationship which we developed with that customer because of customer intimacy is still there. So I think
Nice.
that's a very important thing for us to understand, for industry to understand, and for younger generation to understand that having customer intimacy is the key in our field.
Nice. So moving from Faisalabad and then, across the oceans, going to the States, Europe, and all of that, do you think there was a set of skills that you learned over the time, or something that you had to develop with time, or something that you think was important or must to have in this field? Because, everyone has a set of certain beliefs and skill systems.
Yeah.
So what do you think was for you?
I think one of the most important thing is understanding the local culture,
Okay, nice.
understanding people you're dealing with, study the
Nice.
local culture, and connect. So what I see that a lot of people who are traveling in the field of sales and marketing, they're not able to connect to people because they don't understand the culture, they don't understand the jokes. So that
Yeah,
makes them
yeah.
comfortable, right? Same way somebody comes in and starts cracking jokes in Punjabi with us and we feel comfortable.
Yep,
we become
yep.
frank with the
Yep.
person. So that's one thing which I think is important, and that's what I learned, that I had to learn Spanish culture, I had to learn US culture. I knew
So immerse in all these.
immerse in all these
yes.
things, understand the cuisines, understand the etiquette, understand the norms. So that's important.
Understood,
So that kind of, again, the bottom line is how you can make human mind comfortable dealing with you.
Nice. So, a lot of people when they're being exposed to such industries and, getting started, now you've been there, you walked that path. So, people ask this question that what is the mental framework or, your secret sauce that, as you said, immersing in the culture. So is there something that you would guide the people who want to get started and, how to get started and how to get immersed in such kind of thing?
There is no secret sauce.
Okay.
It's very
Nice.
simple.
Nice.
You just make sure that you are able to, first of all, you should be determined. You should have a clear goal in mind, what
Nice.
needs to be done. You should be able to go with the determination that I'm going to make it happen.
Okay.
So these are the basic things. These are the basic things one should do. Secondly, understand the customer, study the market, have knowledge about product, have knowledge about customer, and understand and do a homework that what customer may need or what customer is missing.
Right.
That's important.
Right.
So sometimes I'm seeing companies go and present, they just open the suitcase and take 50 different samples out, and then I can do this for this, for this. And that's all like selling by price,
Right.
which my 12-year-old son can do it. You don't
Right.
need any degrees or any experience
Okay.
in that. Anybody can sell on price. But you have to be able to sell to the right customer, right product,
Right.
and fulfill the need. So the customer knows that you're the right partner. You're not a supplier, you are a right partner. You, as a vendor and the customer, both have same goal in mind, is to have a successful product in stores which sells.
Right. So that's a very interesting concept. You said right partner and, studying the customer. And do you think that requires basically, research and development, or does that require, going and meeting that customer often? What is that?
So market exposure is very important.
Okay.
You can have market exposure, certain market exposure sitting in Pakistan, looking at the product online, doing those things, studying the customers. Now a lot of data is available, but you should be able to know what framework you're using, how you're gathering the information, and what information you need
Right.
before meeting the customer. Secondly, Most important thing is to go visit retail, go
Okay.
to the stores, study the consumer behavior, study what's happening, how store layout is, what are the areas customer is focusing on in retail. And that's how you kind of determine that these are the critical things for the customer. And most importantly, when the consumer walks in the store, what consumer is looking for, how he sees and she sees. Because
Right.
we are in the field of apparel, fashion.
So you got to see from their lens as well.
You got to see from their lens.
Nice.
And then you got to determine, then you have to think like your customer, how your
Right.
buyers are thinking.
Yes.
Then you got to see, okay, what makes a product, what difference this retailer can do and make the product.
Right.
You have to have an understanding of market, you have to have an understanding of trends, you have to have all those understandings. You really can't just study one retailer and come up with a solution. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
But you need to have knowledge of the product. So one thing which really helped, has always helped me, is my background understanding of product development and the time I spent in product development. And I like creating fabrics. I like working with fabrics. I'm
Nice.
not an apparel guy, I'm a fabric guy.
Right.
So for me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because design and all of that, that's everything. All customers have a strength in-house, which they can do it. But creating unique fabrics, what's the next big fabric? That's the key.
So I like the point where you said, you're a fabric guy and you like to understand the fabric because that's your background. So it's very crucial, for the audience as well who's getting into something, to know your industry, to have a good planning, because wherever you go, customers appreciate that, and I think that's a very important point. So concluding the point. So for people, young generation, especially getting started right now, what's one set of advice that you would give to them and tell them to focus on or work on, given today's situations as well?
First of all, overnight success is not
Is
real.
not. That's right.
That's not real.
Okay.
So there are certain old principles of management, old principles of doing things. They're always stable and robust.
Right.
Look at people like Warren Buffett, people like Jack Welch. You look at all of them, study all of them. Nobody had success overnight.
Overnight. Yep.
No, because the problem with the younger generation is they all want to be successful
Overnight. Yep.
So there is no shortcut of experience. You can gain 10 years experience in 3-4 years, but you cannot gain that.
Yeah, it depends on your frequency, but it's not overnight and
It's
nothing.
not. You can be as
Yes,
10%
yes.
within a year, right? So you have to go through a learning and grinding process.
Yeah, and that's a learning curve that teaches you
That's a
stuff.
learning curve, the grinding process. You have to go through that. Before you do everything with your own hands, learn, understand. Yes, there are tools available to help you, but if you don't know how to do it yourself, you cannot rely on tools. So you should be able to do things on your own. Determination is important. You can be a leader without having experience. Yes, everybody has leadership traits,
Right.
but having experience, having understanding is important for any process. So younger generation should focus on gaining experience, finding the right organization where they can gain experience, and keep learning.
Keep learning.
Keep
I
learning.
think yes.
Don't stop learning. There's so much resource out there. Podcasts like these on YouTube, LinkedIn. Go look for knowledge.
So knowledge, yeah, that is the
For
key,
knowledge.
because you keep growing, you keep evolving every day. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Berry. That was a lovely insight, and I'm sure a lot of the people, young generation, and the audience listening to us will benefit from you as well. And we look forward to having you next time. Thank you for your insights.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.